Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. So we are on Alternate Future episode 7, and a lot of things are going to happen, that's all I'm going to say. Because a lot of borders are going to change, especially in Europe, and something will happen in this region, but that's for the end. But, so I do want to say something. If I might sound a little bit annoyed or just like not enthused in making this, that is because when I tried to record it, it like didn't record, and I had wasted like 20 minutes of the video. Not 20 minutes, probably like an hour. So I'm actually very, very mad about that. But I will try my best to not get annoyed, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But if you guys enjoy this video, or just really like it, I would really appreciate if you guys were to like and subscribe, as I'm on a goal to 50 subscribers by my birthday. But besides that, let's just get into the video. So, the Franco-German Union, or just the French and the Germans combined, are going to continue their push into Libya. And it's going to go very terrific, as a lot of it is very just deserty, and most of their troops are in Libya's capital. But while the Franco-German Union is invading Libya, someone joins this war to save the Libyans. So the British will join this war to save the Libyans from these aliens, and from this very weird country that thinks that they are human. As the British and all the other nations know that these are not actual normal humans. They know these humans have been controlled in some way or shape or form. They just don't know. They don't know if these are actual humans that are actually doing this, or if they're controlled. But who knows? Who knows? But the British will take all of Libya, besides the capital. But while they do that, the Franco-German Union, or the FGU, declares war on the rest of the African nations, and blitzkriegs through all of them. And the British does not have time to mobilize troops between all of Africa, and this leads to the complete disaster of the fall of all these independent African nations that the US sorta, helped, including Liberia, which just really, really angers the US, as Liberia was a protectorate state of the US. So, and yeah, Ethiopia, you're gone. And yeah. And I will show you the size comparison between the British Empire and the FGU. But here's the peace treaty for, the Great African Divide. I don't know. Well, not the Great African Divide, but whatever. And this treaty will take place in Warsaw. So, here it is. So, here's the peace treaty. I know the borders look disgusting, but it's whatever. But here's the Franco-German Union compared to the British, which I'm gonna just paint the British blue. And yeah, I know, it seems like the British is still larger than them, either way. But you still have to realize that the British Empire is barely closer, as they still technically have Australia and Canada, but it's just barely larger. Well, not barely, but it's just larger than the Franco-German Union by a few thousand or 10,000, whatever. I don't know. Of just kilometers, not kilometers, but I don't know what they measure. Forgot, but they're just, the size difference is very, very insane, as the Franco-German Union has a good chunk of Africa, a small piece of Asia, and just Syria and Lebanon, and yeah, that's kind of just about it. But their main piece is in Africa. But yeah. But moving on. And actually, speaking of the British, they actually made a secret collective alliance between the Polish, Belarusians, or Belarus, and Lithuania, and Russians, in Spain and Portugal, and the Benelux nations. But they had made that alliance to invade the Franco-German Union in the year 1968 because it took a very long time to really mobilize after what was everything happening, or what was happening at the time. Sorry, my brain is cuckoo today. It's like very late for me anyways. But the Franco-German Union will declare war on Spain 6 years prior to the actual invasion. And this invasion will go very swiftly at first, as they are blockading any British supplies to these guys. And I'm not going to color in the colonies, as I think you can already tell what's going to happen. But the British tell a lot of nations to actually mobilize quicker. And some nations will decline this, such as Italy and Lithuania, because it's kind of already hard for them. But Poland, Russia, and the Benelux countries are not going to surrender yet. So, may the, I guess, major Balkan War begin? I don't know what to call it. But may the Balkan War, not Balkan, what am I talking about Balkan? I mean European. May the Great European War begin. So, while the French are easily bulldozing through Iberia and capturing a lot of Spain and forcing them to actually surrender very quickly in Portugal, the Benelux will immediately begin to do a very swift operation of Germany. And these guys are trying to send in troops, and Poland is trying to hold off the German front, as they already actually begin to move in. And the Germans are very strong, so yeah. But continuing. Oh, also, I'm sorry if I'm not putting in as much energy. I'm just trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Sorry. But the Germans will actually have to pull back from Poland because of the Benelux, obviously. And the Benelux is really just British forces, if I'm being honest. And those British forces will begin to be pushed back, if I'm being honest. And it's not going to go well, as French troops from Iberia are going to be sent up. And yeah, the Benelux is going to be bulldozed over because of Germany. But the Netherlands will hold out for a bit till the British actually make a very swift landing in Brittany. But the French will hold out for that and actually be able to push back. Whoa. What? I don't know. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, we are back. I fixed it. The French will actually begin to slowly but surely push back this till it's separated, and they push back and recapture this major city. But that's just about it. Until the French, like, kind of just can't really do much anymore, as it's just a whole bunch of just British troops stacked, trying to hold out this front, trying to push through, and trying to capture Paris. But, with Russian troops finally arriving on the front, they will actually be able to push back the Germans very swiftly, as they're kind of, like, they're not used to it, but they kind of just know the Germans, so. But with Russians on the front, this will cause, or this won't cause, but this will allow for the blue team to successfully push into Germany without much problems, as much of the red team's troops weren't really on, like Germany, on this front. And they'll be able to re-liberate this and actually help them. What was that? Was that a cat? I don't know. But continuing, they'll be able to push back the Germans, or the Franco-German Union, far back until white peace is made between them, as neither teams can actually like push, and no one wanted to really fight in Africa, as that would be very, very deadly and nothing would really happen much. And a lot of the Franco-German troops were in Africa at the time and were just being sent up. So they could have taken the British Empire, but the Franco-German Union didn't want to waste time, as they needed those troops on the front right now. And so white peace is made because no team can further advance, and all teams are tired, or both teams. So peace is settled. And that peace is actually settled in London. And let me show you the peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty. And yeah, a lot of things changed, as Belgium is gone, is annexed, and a lot of Germany, such as the Rhineland, is taken away. But Germany's back, so that's good. But the British, when they saw the leader of the, I guess, French team, or not team, but of France, they saw that they were talking strangely, like robotic, and it just sounded weird to them. But that's besides the point. As we're moving on to the British Raj. So, the British Raj, right? The British has been taking a lot of people and forcing them to work. And if you remember back in episode 3, or I think it was 4, either 3 or 4, many Indian nationalists want their freedoms ever since the first Anglo-Raj War. That's what I'm going to call it. Or British-Indian War. Either one. Because of just like they were being forced to work, being forced to get sent out to war. And just, that's kind of very harsh. And many groups want their freedoms. How many times did I say freedom? And this will cause a major, what's the word? Major shock around the world. I'm tweaking. A major shock around the world. Thank you. And so, Civil War, what the heck? Civil War will be very important, especially in the future. And so, the Civil War began. So, here's the Civil War. So, the green team being the Pakistans, the purple team being the Franco-German, not the Franco-German, but the French Union. Very strange, am I right? And the red being the communist India, as they don't like it how they have to be bossed around by other officials, but they want to live in harmony and peace, working together side by side and not having but I can't find the word, but they want equality, not inequality. But beginning, the Pakistan group will immediately begin, as these guys wanted their freedom for a very long time, and the man who started terrorism is actually Pakistan in this world, and a lot of people will actually rise up to fight for Pakistan, and even Indians, and not with Pakistan religion, or faith or anything like that, Islam, they actually want to aid the Pakistanis. And Pakistan will grow exponentially. Exponentially? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And the British will not have a lot of time to react, as a lot of their troops are mostly in Europe or Africa. And the purple team will go, like, just speed run through the blue team. Or not the blue team, but just the British Raj, as they are as they are supported by many, even the communists and Pakistan, the Indians. And Pakistan will, or the Pakistan rebellion will actually grow, even in modern day Bangladesh, as many Islamic people live here. And the communist Indians will easily take over all of Myanmar and connect up, and will just stay along the coast, as they only want the lands that they really want and the people that live in those regions. And so the British say, okay, fine, we give up. You can have the land you want. And this civil war was a very quick one, because the British, like I said before, did not have enough time to react, as they had to do all that, send troops through here. And it was hard because they had to care about 1, 2, 3, 4 fronts. If you count Myanmar, that's even 6, or the other number. But here is the peace treaty of the British Raj Civil War. So here's the peace treaty. And I'm going to just say this. This is the British Raj. And these are the communists. These are the Pakistans. And these are the pro, these guys. I don't know, I forgot. The pro-French Union. And that's going to do it for today's video, or episode, as I didn't want to juice it up even more. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, peace.